Why don't you tell me a little more about it?
Sure. Are we starting now? Is this beginning? Are we starting now?
I was just testing levels. I think you're a little loud, and I'm a little quiet. Well, just pick a distance that you're comfortable with.
Ooh.
Well, you got to start talking, because you're not going to be
Hello.
at that volume. Yeah.
Hello and welcome.
What is this? Yep, episode 3.
Of, what's it called? Context Blues?
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's up?
Me and my friend went to the store, and then we went inside the store.
Care to elaborate?
Yeah.
No, that's not the line.
What?
I was trying to quote that David Lynch meme. Where he's like,
Oh!
Believe it or not, God is actually gay. Can you elaborate on that? No.
Because I think he actually said that. Because he's famous for, like, not giving away the meanings of anything that he does.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's start it off with that. Here's a question I've had about art. It's like, how much should you... What are you laughing at?
Sorry, it was like a proto joke.
Oh, elaborate.
Where you were like, here's a question I've had about art. How much is it? I don't know why that was so funny. You peaked both our mics.
Damn, girl. I can fix that posthumously.
Right.
Wait, what does posthumous mean?
I always said it posthumous.
What does it mean?
After death.
I thought that was post-mortem.
Well, let's get tapping.
We cannot settle on one subject yet.
Proto-humor. No, you were talking about David Lynch.
Okay, what I was going to talk about is, like, how do you know how much of your art you should give away? Like, or I mean, how much you should explain and talk about. After death, yeah, I guess it's the same as post-mortem, but it's probably used in different contexts.
That's a little sexy.
Yeah, I know. I like to say posthumous.
But I like her. Anyway, how much of your art should you give away? Because we talked about this with David.
Yeah, and I don't remember getting a straight answer. I don't think he understood what I was asking. Because what I'm talking about is, like, specifically with David Lynch, he's like, with his movies, people ask them what do they mean, and he doesn't give an answer, and he says, if you can figure it out, if you guess my interpretation of it, then I'll tell you my interpretation of it, otherwise I won't tell you. And that creates an air of mystery, and that increases, like, interest into your art. And so I think that's important. But then my problem is, like, I'm very passionate about the ideas that go in behind my art, and I want to over-explain it. I want to tell people all about, like, oh, it was this and that, and I was inspired by this, and it's because of this personal thing, and because of that and this, and I just want to talk about it. And it's like, but then that begs the question, like, well, then what's the point of even making the work of art if you can explain all that just by talking? Or is it bad to explain your art, or is it good to keep it a secret, or is there not even positive and negative things can be attributed to that?
This is interesting to me because this is definitely not what David meant when he said giving away your art. He meant physically giving out artwork.
Yeah.
I think
that's not what I was talking about.
Yeah, but then you were like, so how much of my art do I give away? And so he was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. But I think maybe, I don't know. It was interesting. You were like, how much, or what's the point of making art if I can explain it all verbally?
Yeah.
Because there's something that I think it's still plenty. The fact that you made something visual.
I suppose, yeah.
Visual is never directly one-to-one verbal.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I hate to say the old picture's worth 1,000 words thing, but I mean, it's kind of true.
There isn't, yeah, but that's the thing. There isn't even like a going exchange rate for pictures to words.
No, there's not like an exact, like, empirical rate. I think that context just means, I mean, that sentence just means that, like, the power of images to be able to start conversations. I think that's what it's talking about.
Oh, no, I always thought it was like you could spend 1,000 words describing something or look at a picture, and I'm pretty sure that's what they meant.
Really?
Yes.
That, you mean
A picture is worth 1,000 words. It's like a description thing. It's like you could take a picture or you could spend 1,000 words describing it.
Oh, I had it wrong. Oh, I like my interpretation better.
Well, sure you do.
Because I don't think that's true. Because
I'm going to look that up.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't think that, if that's what that quote actually means, then I don't think the quote is true.
What does a picture is worth 1,000 words?
What does a picture window look like?
You can describe something by drawing just one picture as well as you can by writing or saying a lot of words.
Okay, so it's not what I thought it was.
Well, that's fine. It's your interpretation makes sense. I just think it's cool that you thought about it that way.
I guess.
Until age
but here's
20
the thing.
whatever.
So like, have you ever seen like a work of art that you didn't get right away, and then you had you had like a pretentious like you pretentiously threw it away without thinking about it. One thing that I did was the
It's dogs echoing. I hope it picks up, or else I sound like a crazy person.
yeah, what was that? That's why I paused. I heard a weird screaming sound.
It's little dogs barking, and then it's echoing.
Okay, I thought it sounded like a car alarm.
You really didn't believe me.
Well, not because of you. Dogs don't sound like that.
Dogs don't echo, bro.
Nah.
All right, keep going.
Did you ever hear the duck's quack doesn't echo?
What?
Yeah, that's an actual myth, and it's bullshit.
It's a sound. All right.
I know.
What were we talking about?
I don't remember anymore.
Fuck.
We're gonna have to watch our podcast to find out what we were talking about.
We're gonna pause and re-listen to the podcast.
No, let's listen to our own podcast live on the podcast.
I'll have to stop the recording and start a new one.
Then want to do it? Let's do it.
No, I can't play them simultaneously, I don't think.
We can start a new one and play the old one. No, that's dumb.
You're right.
That's dumb. Just
wasting 6.5 minutes of our time.
Explaining that joke is better than actually doing it.
We could take
It's
this
more
opportunity
efficient
to talk about proto-humor.
No, I remember what I was going to talk about now. We can talk about proto-humor later.
Oh, I peeked the mic. I am become Mike,
you
destroyer of Mike.
You am become the Mike you sought to destroy.
You am become. I'm sorry, come on.
Okay, we were talking about how much of your art you should give away. And what I was going to say was, like, have you ever seen a work of art that you, like, immediately didn't like and you just brushed off? And it's because you didn't understand the context or any more information about what it meant. And then when you learned that information, it changed your whole perception of it. Like, for me, that's the famous Rococo painting. I think it's just called The Swing Set. Or
The
something.
Swing.
The Swing. And it's the lady on the swing set. I used to think this is just dumb because I always thought Rococo was just like artsy, fartsy, romanticism. Ooh, look at the pretty flowers, shallow nonsense. And then I learned from Johanna that it was actually a painting about losing your virginity to two guys at once.
Yeah,
and
it's a visual depiction of an orgasm.
That changed my entire view. And so it's like, that's why I feel like when I have a work of art, I want to be able to explain it the best I can in order to defend it, because I know how easily someone can misinterpret something or look at something and think that it's shallow without thinking about the deeper meaning of it.
This might be in Art and Fear.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But what I was going to say is, and I'm looking at my shelf right now, and I would have sworn I brought that with me. Oh, there it is. Okay. No, that's all right. There's something about, like, I don't remember who said this, but it's the space between the artist's intent and the viewer's interpretation that quote art exists. And maybe I agree with that.
I can agree
maybe
with
I
that.
don't.
I mean, but I think I do, because, well, okay, I always, whenever it's a question like this, I like to take it to the extremes and think, if you are just a hermit and you draw art for yourself and never show it to anyone, then I wouldn't say that is not art, just because there's an audience.
Art. That's why I don't fully agree with that
But
statement.
maybe it is still completely valid, because even if it's only you and you make your art, you're still your own audience.
Oh, does someone have to view it? Like, could I...
I think it's a tree falls in a forest thing.
Oh, you're right.
And I don't think art can exist without being viewed by an audience, because...
If a brush falls on a canvas and there's no one around to see it, does it make an art?
Exactly. but and that's the question of, like, abstract expressionism almost. But what I was gonna say is, like, you're always your own, at least part of your own audience, because you can't make art without observing it, or at the very least being conscious that it's art.
Yes, you can't make art unconscious with no realization that you're doing it. So you're the observer in that way too. Like, I could close my eyes and draw something. I'm still aware that I'm making something.
I think that if you do something unintentionally...
Oh, that's an interesting question.
is that still art? Because There's a question because I want to be.
No, I think it becomes art when it's documented.
Really?
When it's observed. Yeah.
But what do you mean documented?
So let's say I fell off a tree and made a cool pattern in the dirt.
Yeah.
And I walked away from it and never thought about it. I don't think that's art. But if somebody came over and looked at it and was like, "What happened here?" I think that's art.
That's interesting.
And I don't want to go into that so much.
No, I love this question.
Wait, let me get something off my chest.
Go
you
ahead,
said, did you ever have a piece of art that you immediately dismissed?
Yeah.
No, don't tell Kaya.
I thought you were gonna say no.
No. No, don't tell Kaya. But
Kaya might see this.
I kind of. Oh God.
It's okay.
I kind of get. It's Rothko.
Yeah, you like Rothko?
No,
now?
I don't like Rothko,
Okay.
but I understand it.
Okay.
I still kind of am harboring some like it's just squares sort of hatred for him.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I've been loud. But like,
is one of those me and one of those you?
Yeah, you're contributing to my.
Am I the
peaks.
bottom one?
You're the bottom one.
Okay.
Just like in bed. Anyway, that was low hanging.
Power bottom.
Low hanging fruit. Bienvenue. Anyway, yeah, Rothko, I understand, but I still don't really enjoy to look at his works.
I feel that way too.
It's just so visually boring to me.
I think, Rothko isn't the kind of artist who like he fills me with anger or disgust. It's like that's kind of, or it's not the kind of person who I even like look down upon. It's just his art isn't that inspiring to me, but I understand its meaning and stuff. And there's even like cultural context that I don't remember, but about that stuff. But yeah, that's okay. That's part of the experience of art, I think. And so that's why I'm thinking like maybe me explaining my art in detail is taking that experience away from people. And that's what I'm worried about.
So you're wondering about how much ambiguity to give your art.
Yeah.
How much breathing room for it to project its own for people to project their meaning onto it versus it to project their meaning onto its meaning onto them.
Because I'm wondering if me explaining something also there's the idea that maybe it doesn't prevent people from projecting their own meaning on it.
That's been the case for me.
Yeah?
Well, it'll temper my understanding of it.
Yeah. Because I trust David Lynch because I honestly think he's one of the best artists of our time.
I'm not sure I've seen a single David Lynch.
I would recommend them. I love them very dearly to my heart. But they're not for everyone, and that's okay too. But I think he's one of the most creative people ever. And like, I don't even care if I'm sucking his dick. It's like
we're sucking a lot of David dicks on this podcast.
You're right. I think he deserves it. He deserves a good suck.
Don't we all?
No.
This is a time for an incel joke.
We don't all deserve.
Yeah.
But so I want to trust his judgment because I think he's smarter than me. But I also I'm confused. I'm still confused as to why he feels like that is better for his art. Because then I'm afraid that like there's so many people who aren't gonna get his art that could be enlightened or interested or even inspired if someone were to explain what they meant or why they were significant.
So you're afraid that people might miss out on the larger meaning or the larger significance of your work if you don't give them some explanation.
I'm afraid of two things at once, and it's creating a dilemma. It's like that's one of the things I'm afraid of. And the other thing is if I decide not to explain any of my art at all or even less of my art or like just vaguely less of my art or something, I'm afraid that I'm missing the opportunity to explain something that someone else might have missed.
This is a real damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it doesn't matter. That's what I'm wondering.
I don't think it does, but I will say that it absolutely matters to you, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
So maybe real world experience is in order, and maybe you run your own little experiment outside of the class.
Oh, maybe.
And choose like, oh, see, now this is impossible too because you can't have two pieces of art that are, you can't have a control and what you. All right, let me explain how I was thinking it. You can't have a control group. It's different individuals. You can't show them the same piece of art twice and say, give me your first impression again. But one time you explain its meaning and one time you leave it ambiguous. It can't work.
You can do it with two different people, though.
It's two different people.
Two different people with the same work of art.
But it's still two different people. You could do it with many different groups so that you get a general impression.
Yeah, we could do it with lots of people. We could do like one large group of people where I don't explain it at all, and one large group of people where I do explain it and then see what their interpretation
yeah,
is.
so the factor here will be sample size.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to go big to get like a genuine thing, because individual interpretations are going to differ so much no matter what you say.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe there's some kind of pattern if it's on a larger scale.
Oh, probably so. I was going to just say that I watched a video about having never seen a David Lynch film. I watched a video essay on them.
Oh, who was it?
What's So Great About That?
Oh,
is the channel.
I've never watched that.
She has a wonderful video about Over the Garden Wall, which is somebody sent that to me. And
before you watched it? Or
no, after. Or maybe YouTube was like, look at this. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, you're right. And then I went to her channel, and I think her name's Grace Lee.
Oh.
But she's, I keep trying to say What We Do in the Shadows.
I've still never seen that.
I watched it on Halloween this year.
Was it good?
It's hilarious.
I really want to see it.
You would love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, she has a really awesome video about David Lynch and the treachery of language.
And
interesting. It's very, very well researched and insightful.
Cool.
It was fun to watch. So
David
we can
Foster
watch it.
Wallace loved David Lynch also. I saw him talk about
more
it.
Davids to suck.
All these Davids, you know.
Oh man.
More Davids to suck. Maybe that should be the name of our podcast, Suckin' Davids.
Why don't we call the episode that and be happy with it?
Yeah. Let's just call it now. That's it. We've decided.
Yep.
We can't get better than that.
No.
We've peaked.
But we've got 44 minutes left to go. So what do you want to speak about?
So that's still an open-ended question then.
Ooh, yikes.
And what my conclusion, which is typically my conclusion to big questions like this, that I'm heading towards, is that it probably is different for every artist and for every work of art.
I think you're right.
So I think my question that I'm asking isn't something that can have an objective answer. I think I'm just expressing my thought process of trying to figure it out for myself.
I think it's just good to ponder.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But because I already know what I want to do, and what I want to do is to explain as much as I possibly can. But I don't know if I can trust myself. I don't know if that is me being me or if that's a flaw that I'm committing, you know. You know, so that's something I still need to work on.
Live your truth.
Well, there we go. It's all solved.
You're valid, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't like it when people say that.
I don't
and
either.
It's for the stupidest, most aggressive, dumbass reason ever. Because shut up, I know I am.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be said. It's so unhelpful. It's just It's just the word yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's just like I want to sound like I'm being helpful without bringing any actual insight.
Which I do love to do.
It's called a platitude.
Oh,
yes.
Not with that platitude. That's a you joke.
But that's also a great title. Not with that platitude.
We'll keep it in reserve.
Sucking Davids or without or what was it?
It'll be a call and response. Sucking Davids, not with that platitude.
Maybe.
Or a parenthetical.
What do you mean?
We put it in parentheses afterwards, or like a semicolon.
Oh, like an alternate title.
Yeah, or.
Yeah. Something made me really mad today.
Tell me.
I was in my ceramics class, and at the end of ceramics, a new class was starting, and May is in that class, and she was also in my ceramics class. And this girl came in, who apparently May knows. They're like friends. I had never met her before, and I was trying to open a bag of Reese's Pieces. And because they had a bowl of them there, and I couldn't open it, so I was like, May, can you open this for me? And she ripped it really easily, and she's like, you pussy. And then the girl snapped at May and said, don't say that, that's sexist.
Boy, that is infuriating.
That made me so fucking pissed. And then May was just like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I didn't even say anything, and I wish I had. I wish I had stood up for May.
May is... I almost said the biggest sexist I know. Not she's like an empowered feminist.
Yeah, I know. She's the furthest from. She's like a great example to me of a good feminist.
Oh yeah, she's super
awesome.
And
not to say that I am the gatekeeper on what makes a feminist good or not, but in my experience, she's the kind of feminist that I.
Welcome
admire.
to my interview with Mike Cocciolo, CEO of Feminism.
Well, because I don't want to be one of those guys. There's some guys who they talk to women and try to tell them how to be a good feminist.
God,
I don't want to. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying she seems like the kind of person, the kind of feminist who puts out positivity in the world rather than negativity, and that's the kind of thing I admire.
Yes,
that's what I was trying to say about that. But that other girl is not. And
That's
I think
just so reactionary. It's like, oh, I heard the P word. I better shame the person who said it without knowing anything about them.
Because to me, that's authoritarian, like, identity politics. Not to sound like a Ben Shapiro or anything.
You are on a bench.
I am on a bench. But I mean, that's the kind of authoritarianism that really grinds my nuts, you know?
Really tortures my cock and balls.
I wish he had said it to me. Like, I wish I had said it, because then I would have said something back or something, and, like, then I wouldn't have been grumpy all day.
That's interesting to me because
especially pussy isn't even a bad word. Who cares?
True.
It's not even that bad.
I see. The problem is, I understand how that could be sexist, and I think at its roots it is. Like, just saying that sucks is inherently homophobic.
Yeah.
But
I guess it is. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But it's so colloquial, and there's so many connotations now versus the dictionary denotation.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
There are much better battles to fight.
Exactly.
Women are getting murdered for not wearing things.
Exactly.
Don't care so much about what one girl said to her male friend in
Africa
America.
Getting their clitorises cut off so that they won't be as sexually promiscuous and stuff like that. And it's like, why don't you, like, fucking fight the good fight and quit telling people what words they can't say?
Yeah, and I don't want to say, like, words don't matter because language is powerful.
Absolutely.
Like David Lynch says.
Yeah.
But
words are powerful.
Oh, can I tell you about a big failure of mine?
Yes, absolutely.
This is going to be such a letdown. I was at Savers with Kaya, and I saw a Seinfeld mug, and I didn't buy it.
Oh, what was on it?
It just said Seinfeld.
I saw a Seinfeld pin somewhere, and I didn't buy it.
We should make a mug where it's Seinfeld with that nuke in the background.
I thought you were gonna say Seinfeld holding a mug with Seinfeld holding a mug.
I already have that with
Dean
they
from
make it makes
sense. That's the best mug I've ever seen. I've never seen anything funnier than that.
I'm so happy.
Where did you get
My
that?
dad got me that.
That's incredible.
Well, I did say, I was like, Dad, look at this hilarious mug.
Where did you find it?
Redbubble.
Oh, of course, yeah. That Redbubble has some gems. I hate like 80% of the stuff on the website.
Yeah.
It's like poorly drawn, like trademarked characters and stuff on shirts.
Have I ever shown you my design where it's the horrible pirated Calvin pissing on something design, but it's just like successively smaller Calvins pissing on each other?
I fucking love that, and I want that on my car.
I might have it.
Did you make? Is it a decal?
I have a sticker available.
Oh my god, I want that
on my Redbubble.
That'll be the second thing from Redbubble that I've bought from you.
Hold on, let me see.
I might also still get an Anime Sucks bumper sticker.
Oh,
just
thank
to
you,
represent.
man.
Because I bought the shirt. Well, I didn't technically buy the shirt. May bought two, and then I took one from her, so she bought it for me. But you still got the same amount of money as if I had bought it from you.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can't find where I put this. Pictures, designs. God damn it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe keep
dab
talking.
Emoji. Why do you have the fucking Aiken is the guy from what's it called? Pop Brain Pop. Dude, I fucking love
Tim and Moby.
Dude, I think I just hit the thing. Yeah,
Let me
Tim
check
and Moby.
the forms, yo.
Yeah, there it is. See, okay, Tim and Moby. That was when
looks like Aiken.
In science class. It's like, hell yeah, we're gonna have a good day. There's another one.
Photo.
Who's that other one? Ainken.
I drew him with a mouse.
Oh, that does look like you.
What? No, it's him.
Yeah, no, I mean your art.
Really?
Yeah.
It came through?
Yeah.
Here's Jamum. I'm sorry, we're getting distracted.
Okay.
Nothing.
There's a folder called Nothing on your computer. I used to have a computer and
it's empty.
I had a folder called All, and it was everything.
What the fuck is the point?
Because I had everything on my desktop, and I was like, I gotta clean this. Instead of it sorting things, I just made a folder called All and put everything in there.
And I have a folder called Nothing that's completely empty.
What did you do that just to make yourself laugh?
No, but it worked. Oh my god, we really are all or nothing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
We are. What the hell?
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
wow.
Dunning-Kruger, I like that thing.
Oh yeah.
The smart people dumb thing.
Why is it a PNG? I don't want to open Illustrator.
Is this a new Illustrator?
Yes.
I've never seen that. That
cool,
splash
cool
screen.
pretty splash lady.
Pretty splash lady.
This is not entertaining to listen to because they can't watch.
I would listen to it. Oh, confidence? Womfidence?
Great confidence. Well, I can't find my Calvin pissing illustration. Maybe I'll just go to Redbubble. Gross. I hope you're enjoying my clickety-clacks. Mm-hmm. Redbubble.
Yeah, they'll get over it. Okay, let's talk about language.
What about it?
So we were talking about the girl who was mean to May.
Yeah.
That pissed me off so much.
Just
because it was like, who do you think you are to be able to tell someone that they can't say something? And then that begs the question, what about the N-word?
I hate you. I wish you could see his face right now.
You knew I was really enjoying myself saying that
he was
one.
Smiling saying that.
Okay, I want to explain why I don't say the N-word, just so everyone can know. And it's because I like the idea.
Because you're white.
No.
That should be enough.
Listen, no. I don't think that being white is enough to not say the N-word.
Oh, bro, I do.
Okay, no, listen. I got in an argument with an African-American person once where I was...
So I believe I know what I'm talking about.
Where I was advocating that white people should be able to say the N-word.
That is a bold fucking stance,
and
Michael.
then that guy started working at Chipotle, and I don't know
what does this mean?
And I go there and I see him and he serves me burritos sometimes and I don't know if he remembers me. And so it's always awkward.
I thought you were saying that you had an argument with him in which you so drastically changed his viewpoint on the N-word that he went to work at Chipotle.
And now here he is working at Chipotle.
And yet here we are.
No, it's not what I meant.
Oh my God.
I went on a tangent. I was trying to say he was in a class of mine, and I remember we stopped being friends after that day because he was mad at me.
It's understandable.
I didn't actually say it.
But you're advocating for it.
I'm an N-word advocate.
Oh, God.
No, okay.
N-word apologist. We are both peeking the fuck out of our microphones and turning us down.
Every time I get a burrito from him, it's like I look him in the eyes and I can't tell.
I say the N-word.
I can't tell if he remembers me and if he feels animosity in his heart, or because I've changed my appearance since then, so maybe he thinks I'm a different person. I've even gone there with eyeliner and stuff.
Let's fucking hope so.
Because he never stopped and said, "Oh, I remember you," or whatever. He wasn't confrontational, but because I remember I was good friends with him for a while. Not good, medium friends, and then I had that conversation with him, and then he just was mad at me the rest of the class. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so what I want to say is that I feel like I don't say the N-word because I don't feel like I have a reason to. Because I feel like if you're going to say words that offend someone, it should be in the name of speaking truth to power and punching up instead of punching down.
Remarkably, I respect that reasoning.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't think having white skin alone, it should be the only reason that you can't say the N-word. I think that
there's a dynamic.
Okay. And I think that if I choose if I'm not saying the N-word, I want to feel like it's my choice to be respectful instead of feeling like I am pressured not to say it because of social norms. Because if I also was trying to be really anti-authoritarian by saying the N-word despite the fact that I'm white, then really, since I genuinely don't feel the need to say it, I would be just as controlled because I felt like I had to be reactionary. That I wouldn't be any less free than if I felt like I couldn't say it, I think feeling like you have a reason not to say a certain word is more important than just not saying a word because that's what people tell you,
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's my interpretation. So that's what I meant when I was talking to him, but I don't think I explained it right or he didn't understand, and I think he thought I meant white people should be saying the N-word, and that's not what I meant. I think I said it wrong. So I'd just like to clear that for anyone listening.
This is I didn't think I'd be at all persuaded by your argument. And yet, both of us again.
And here we are.
Here we are, fully clothed.
Two white guys discussing something that doesn't pertain to us.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Again.
Maybe we should really talk about something else, like this Calvin sticker.
Yes, I love it.
Okay.
And it goes on a palm tree binder.
If you so choose.
I love how that's already a bootleg thing.
Yes, Bill Watterson didn't license Calvin and Hobbes out to anybody.
Have you seen what it's actually from?
No.
That's actually a drawing that Bill Watterson did, but it's of Calvin filling up a water balloon, and his pants are fully up, and then someone took that and put his pants down and drew pee.
Oh, that's so crass.
I know, but it's weird. Like, it's such a pervasive cultural thing.
If you have that on your car, I hate you.
Except for the one you made.
Well, yes.
You made it. That actually is funny, though, because it's like recursive. I mean, that's not as bad as like truck balls. And
it is first cousin to it, though. It is very close.
Truck ball. We should make truck balls, where it's balls with balls with balls, and it hits the ground and drags.
Sparks.
It sparks when you drive. That should be our next art project.
Oh no!
How long have we gone on for? Because I want to keep talking.
Half an hour. We got a half hour left.
Oh, good. Okay, I thought we were doing this for longer.
This one we laughed real hard. I hope things are audible through us laughing and peeking each other's microphones.
What didn't talk about in the beginning?
I don't know. You said, I forgot, and then we went on a really long tangent. Feast or famine, all or nothing. Here we are again. I am so confused about why I have a folder called Nothing that has nothing in it.
Yeah, it's
like it makes sense.
Yeah,
but why did I do that?
It's apt. It's logically sound. It just
and the utter coincidence that you have a folder called All, which has everything in it.
That reflects our personalities. That is like us. I have a folder called All with everything, and you have a folder called Nothing with nothing in it. And both of them are correct. They both have their own internal logic, but are outwardly absurd. And that describes both of us perfectly.
I love this.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing and peeking the mic every time.
And anyway, let's go back to talking about David Lynch, because I could suck that guy's dick all day. Because I really do.
Why don't you give it a try?
He is one of the few people that I would consider to be a genius.
Really?
Because I want to use the word genius very sparingly, because that's another word that I feel like people are like, oh, you're a math major. Some people are like, you study math at university. That means you're a brain genius.
They're too ready to assign it to IQ over 140 as a genius.
I don't agree with that. I think IQ is like dick size.
Yeah.
I think it's like people who measure.
Mine's 8.
Exactly. My dick is like my IQ, very small. But I think it's like when people compare their IQs, it's just like the intellectual version of measuring dicks.
Oh, yeah.
It's like people think you have a bigger dick, then you're a superior person, or if you think that people who have a smaller IQ are literally stupider than you.
I think being a genius has little to nothing to do with IQ.
I think genius also, just like creativity, is one of those words that can't really be defined. And I also remembered what I wanted to talk about before. But
good, because I got nothing.
But I think...
Ooh, yikes. Sorry, folks.
Genius is, to me, kind of like synonymous with enigma. Sorry. I think... Because I don't think David Lynch or anyone that I think of as a genius is a superior person, but I think of them as someone who I can never fathom being having the same state of consciousness as them.
Does this work with how we said David Cristiano was an enlightened person?
Yes, but I don't
know if I'd go so far as to call him a genius. Sorry, David.
Because I feel like he's at a very practically intelligent place where I feel like
prelingual state.
I feel like in the future I could be on his level. But
you feel like a genius is unachievably enlightened?
No. I wouldn't say unachievably enlightened for the whole world. I would say my interpretation of a genius is someone who I feel like I can't, and it's not to put myself down. It's just because David Lynch's work is so it's so incredible and so poignant to me that I don't feel like I could ever make something that original or that salient,
Oh.
And that's supposed to be a compliment to him, and I don't want to limit myself by saying that. like that's supposed to be a compliment to him. That's just to show how much I appreciate his art.
Yeah, it's not putting yourself down so much as saying, I will never achieve this state of consciousness, and that's fine.
Because
it's good.
if I do, then I do, and that's not a goal that I'm going to try to have. I'm just going to try to be myself.
Cool. So then I guess a genius is just someone who you feel has an extremely developed state of consciousness and being that is unlike your own.
Yes, exactly.
In a way that you appreciate.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that definition a lot.
Yeah, and then that's how I feel about him. And a couple other people I'd say too, but mostly him. But,
can you name them? You don't have to.
Another guy named I don't know why I'm losing his name now because I used to think about him all the time.
What did he do?
He made my favorite movie, which is called It's Such a Beautiful Day, which is an animated movie.
Oh, he made World of Tomorrow too,
he
right?
made World of Tomorrow.
Oh, what is his name?
I think he's a genius.
It's like Dan. Is it Dan something?
It's Don. It's Don for sure.
Oh, it's Don. Okay.
Don Hertzfeld.
Don Hertzfeld.
Mm-hmm. I was inspired by him.
I've seen World of Tomorrow. That was
World of Tomorrow is
really
great,
good.
But you have to watch. I have a bootleg version of that I made myself of.
What?
Of It's Such a Beautiful like the fucking Life movie. The fucking It's Such a Beautiful Day.
You made me make a weird sound.
It's Such a Beautiful Day. Because you can't buy it on DVD for some reason anymore.
I bought World of Tomorrow.
Yeah, you can buy World of Tomorrow. You can't for some reason. I could never find It's Such a Beautiful Day, so I made a bootleg version, and there's like a segment of it where the sound cuts out. So true to the bootleg tradition. But so I have it, and we could watch it, or we could just. It used to be on Netflix, but it's not anymore. We have to find it on some weird illegal website or something. But it really is one of the most like moving films I've ever seen. Like it moves me emotionally so much. But yeah, I'd consider him a genius. And there's a couple others I had in mind that I can't remember right now. But
I wonder. I should maybe think about that.
I mean, it seems weird and gross because it just seems like I'm just making a list of like people to suck their dicks and not challenge them. And that's not what I want to do because I don't want to say like these are infallible people whose art can never have flaws. I don't ever want to say that.
It's just you're making an upper echelon of like, look how few flaws this has, or look how.
Or not even that. It's more about the how profound I feel their art touches
despite
me.
Its flaws.
Yeah, despite its flaws.
Okay, yeah, that's phenomenal. Then I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Because
you're a very aware person.
Thank you.
You're ready to criticize and be criticized and take it like a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're good.
But
you have my permission.
Because like
you
David
are
Lynch,
valid.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I ever wanted to hear.
That's okay.
David Lynch made the movie Dune, and it's not a good movie.
Oh, my mom loves the books.
It's not. It's a movie that's very lovable, but it's not a good movie.
Okay.
And it was one of his only attempts to make a commercial film. And then he did it. He didn't like it, and he stopped doing that, and he went back to art films. It's still I would still watch it, but it's not a good movie.
Can you give me some David Lynch titles?
Eraserhead. That's the first one I ever saw.
Was he Mulholland
Drive? Blue Velvet.
Did Blue Velvet like really disturbing?
Yes, even for me, but I loved it.
Oh God,
It is incredible. It's disturbing in a way that like haunts you, but it doesn't make you. It feels good though, you know.
Okay.
And so does Eraserhead. Eraserhead's the same way. I saw that movie when I was really depressed. Like, you ever have those days where it's like you just don't want to get out of bed? It was one of those days, and I had a TV in my bed. And I just turned it on, and I didn't even know what it was. I had never heard of David Lynch in my life, and I just started watching it. It was on some weird channel, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? And I was kind of bored of it at first, and then for some reason I just couldn't change the channel, and I just kept watching, and it ended up becoming one of the most intriguing like movies I've ever seen, and it inspired me to this day. I'm still feel inspired by it.
That's really cool.
And it's almost kind of like it's in relation. It's in like a same tier. I would consider Carl Jung to be a genius. It's in the same kind of tier as like Carl Jung's psychology. Like it really digs at something really, really primal inside people's brains. You know, it's very like it's like what really great art does, like Picasso. And maybe that doesn't happen to everyone, but Picasso does it for me too. that it's not just something like I relate to this because of the specific circumstances of my life and my experiences. It's like I relate to this because I'm a human. It's like that kind of powerful.
That's cool.
And that's why I love it so much.
You know what's been troubling me lately is I don't have a lot of... Excuse me. Sorry. I don't have a lot of, like, notable artists that I look up to. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go get water, but
okay.
Entertain the folks that aren't listening.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to leave the room. I was going to start singing a sea shanty. I was going to go, I'll sing you a song of the fish of the sea. Oh, Rio.
Oreo?
Oh, Rio.
Oh.
And then it's like, I'll sing you a song of the fish of the sea. Hi-ho to Rio Grande.
I don't know it.
That's a real song.
Cool.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I don't have artist role models from the...
I didn't.
I watched you do it.
Yeah, I have to visibly like move my cheeks when I fart.
The one cheek sneak. I know it well.
Did you make that up?
No, my grandpa made that up.
That's so funny.
Rest in peace.
The one cheek sneak.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where I
now.
heard it. I don't know if he made it
That's
up.
really funny. Artists you look up to, don't. You don't have...
I don't have a lot of people in the art historical canon that I think are geniuses. I will put...
Can we make this like an hour and a half long podcast?
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm really in the mood.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, actually, I'm not going to label anybody a genius. Okay. I'm just trying to think of people in the art historical canon who I really, really admire.
Because you have a style, and so that means you must have been inspired.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a lot by David right now.
Well, that's okay.
No more David sucking on this episode.
I don't know if I know any more Davids.
We've sucked them all.
Any more significant Davids?
That's called running the table.
I've been thinking about that a lot, too. That's really funny.
Thanks, man. I was going to say that the people who are, like, accepted art historical figures that I respect and admire, Egon Schiele.
Yeah, oh, me too. I love him.
John Singer Sargent.
I don't know him.
Oh, Madame X?
Nope.
He was into, like, pretty naturalistic portraiture, and so that gets bashed a lot now because it's not in.
Yeah, and I would honestly, I would say I'm guilty of bashing naturalistic portraiture, although I can admit that I'm probably being closed-minded and that there is some stuff of that stuff. That
that's why I was coming at you for not only liking weird things last semester.
No, and I think that honestly, I'll say I felt really frustrated with you when you were doing that, but I think it ultimately was good for me.
Okay, I'm glad, because it wasn't my intent to just frustrate you. I wanted to get you to maybe zoom out a little bit, and I'm not saying I know, like, I'm not a taste maker in art. No. But I was just like, I feel like he would really like this stuff if he just backed up from it a little, and you totally have. Yeah. You've embraced more.
I think that was a growing
artistic styles. Yeah, I think I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't just annoy you. And I think it's time somebody did that with me, but. If you can see my patterns and be like, Brady, do you like this, or does it just have a gradient?
I don't know. I mean, the one I keep thinking of is your boat drawing.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible. I thought, especially because, like, I thought the concept behind it was really thought-provoking, and it was, like, a really, like, poetically efficient way of expressing that concept.
Thanks, man. That came from a weird headspace.
That's the best kind.
At like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, what were you saying? You don't have a canon of artists that you love. There are very few. Like, I would say as far as I was thinking about Bernini today. I know Bernini, but I can't think of any of his work.
The Ecstasy of, is it Saint Teresa?
Is that the rape one?
No, that's another one that he did.
The golden one? The golden rape painting?
It's not a painting. He was a sculptor.
Oh, okay.
But maybe he painted.
There's one famous, like, abstract painting that everybody loves, and they don't know it's about rape, and it's about, like, this girl in a golden
I've
blanket.
fucked up. It's not the Ecstasy of... No, it is Ecstasy of Saint Teresa.
I feel like I've probably seen this in real life.
Oh my God, have you fucking really?
I don't know, because I lived in Europe. And I saw a lot of statues like this. That looks really familiar, actually. I remember the
movement
things.
and, like, the tension and just the delicacy also is just, like, he's unmatched.
Where is this?
I don't know.
Because I've been to Italy, and I've been to France, and I've been to England.
Giovanni Lorenzo
Italy. I might have seen this.
Well, yeah, I know. Church of Santa Maria della Vittoria.
Okay, I don't remember specifically.
Rome,
I was like
Italy.
13, but I do vaguely.
I'm so jealous if you have. I think, yeah, that's probably my. This is pleb answer, but it's got to be my favorite sculpture.
Making sculptures look delicate is difficult. I don't even know enough about sculptures to have a favorite sculpture.
This one. Oh, the rape of Proserpina? I don't even know how you say that. That's not the one I'm
talking about. I'm thinking of like an abstract painting.
Oh, Klimt?
The gold. It has a
gold one? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is. This is the one everyone loves to zoom in on that hand and be like, wow.
Dead ass.
And so, like, Bernini was...
That's hot.
It's called The Rape of Somebody, Mike.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I didn't think of that.
Bro.
I didn't notice. My brain stopped thinking... Bro, you just defend rape? No, okay.
I want to talk about our bro discussion from earlier.
Okay, I forgot that it was about rape. I was just looking at the hand touching the booty, and I was like,
Well, yeah, the way that it like indents the flesh is incredible.
Yes, yeah.
And people love Bernini, I think. Oh, I'm really up on this microphone. People love Bernini, I think, generally because he was such a master of naturalistic depiction. But what I really, really love about him is just the tension and like the dynamism of everything. It's all incredible.
Dare I say, I think there's something slightly more impressive about realism and naturalism in sculpture than there is in painting.
Maybe, because it's like you got to make it right in 3 dimensions, and it's got to stand up.
But that just might come from my inexperience with sculpture.
There's something more intrinsic about sculpting for me. Like, I sculpted, you watched me, that guy on a lamppost and stuff, and I sculpted that really quickly, and it came together, and I just had like a general sense of the proportions.
Maybe you should do more sculptures.
Attachments, maybe, yeah. But like, it's like existing in a human body. I can sculpt one. Not perfectly. I'm not trying to sound like some arrogant dick who's like, yeah, I'm really good without any practice.
Yeah.
But I've drawn a ton too, so I'm sure it came from that. Like I was using the anatomy knowledge that I'm getting from class right now.
I'm sure it exercises the same muscles.
Yeah, but the thing I was going to say about this is it's like fantastically realistic and naturalistic. Yeah. But I like how dynamic it is because the dynamics of it are exaggerated.
What era was this? Is this like
1600s?
So this is
Renaissance.
So that's
high Renaissance.
So that's fairly new in terms of art history, I would say, on a big scale. That this isn't like ancient Greek sculpture.
No.
Which ancient Greek sculpture had a lot of like energy and dynamism and stuff in it too.
Yeah, and I'm ill-informed about that. But okay, so we were talking about the I don't have many role models in the art historical canon.
Yeah, let's keep going about how your lack of interest. Just kidding.
Let's keep going about how you're an idiot.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I'd love to talk more about that. It's an endless sort. It's a font.
I don't think you need to have an extensive knowledge of art history in order to be a good artist or to be an informed artist either.
I'd like to have a better one, but I don't think I'm stupid about it.
Yeah. No, I'm interested. I like learning about art history. I don't feel like, and I guess it is a tool. But it's not like I think some people treat knowledge in general as like an accessory, and I don't like to treat it as an accessory. I like to think about it like this is a tool, and if I'm gonna learn about something and be fascinated and even express my fascination with it, I want it to be as candid as possible instead of saying like, look, here's this thing I'm interested in, and even if I am genuinely interested in it, I don't want to say like, I'm the guy who knows more about this than everyone else.
Knowledge is an accessory or knowledge is a tool. That's a really, really good description.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that?
Yes.
That's
not
fantastic.
Not to toot my own cock.
No, I'll toot it. Finally.
I knew it was going to happen.
After all these years. Yikes, dude. No, I do think that's super awesome and like a good summary of those two viewpoints. Mm-hmm. And I think I used knowledge like that when I was in middle school and high school.
As an accessory? Me too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it's much more of a tool kind of thing.
I keep trying
to. Now
move
I'm much more of a tool.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the ultimate end of any art education. And now I'm more of a tool.
Get a degree
more
in the
of a tool
arts
than
to
ever.
become more of a tool than ever.
Yeah.
So what was I saying? Oh, I don't have a lot of artists that are in the accepted. Like if you were going to talk to an art historian and say, "Oh, I like these artists."
Yeah.
What they would consider, generally speaking, like an acceptable answer. I don't have a lot of artists like that. Mm-hmm. I enjoy a lot of people on Instagram.
Yeah. I
enjoy those few that I mentioned, and there's more. Like I don't hate like these art historical figures. Mm-hmm. It's rare that I find some that really resonate with me, and I don't want to get too Frank Lloyd Wrighty here and be like, oh, I have no influences. That's horrendously untrue.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
What was he?
Dumb.
No, what kind of art was he? A writer?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah. What did he do?
Most famous architect ever.
Oh, and I don't know anything about architecture at all.
Okay. Yeah. Frank Lloyd Wright. He's the one everybody knows.
Did he make the big binoculars?
No, that's Frank Gehry.
Oh.
I think. Wait, hold up. Don't quote me on that. But yeah.
Okay.
Two Franks.
I saw him on Arthur once.
Two Steve. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember the episode of Arthur where Frank Gehry appeared.
Yeah.
As himself.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
I know.
They did that with Matt Damon once.
Oh my god.
It was fucking weird. The guests on the Arthur, they're always really creepy. Like they're animal characters.
I'm going to look up Arthur Frank Gehry right now.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to say you don't have a lot of influences. I think even if you don't think you have a lot of influences, you probably do and don't know it.
Yep,
especially
you're
if you're a competent artist. Yeah, isn't it weird? And they're just fucking weird.
Yeah, binoculars.
He's the binocular man.
You know what? I never realized how much I dislike the broken line work of Arthur.
I don't hate it. You don't like it? I think it was supposed to match the books.
I don't hate it either. Is it true that the dude who created Arthur made some really racist comment?
I've never heard that.
I don't want to talk about this.
When did this happen?
I don't want to talk
Mark
about
Brown is like the most liberal fucking guy who sneaks his
Mark
fucking
Brown, okay.
agenda in all his episodes.
May I ask why you have such a thorough knowledge of Arthur? You know all the words to the theme.
Because I fucking love it.
You know the author off the top of your head, which, yeah, it's not that deep of a
Everyone knows
knowledge.
Mark Brown.
Well, I do now.
I loved
but
Arthur
I forgot.
growing up, and every once in a while I still pop it in.
You know what? More power to you. Yeah, we all gotta pop it in now and again.
Hell yeah.
That was a platitude. What was I saying? I don't know shit.
Okay.
And I don't really care, but I wish I were more aware of the shit that I did know, the shit that leaked into my own art.
Well, I would just say, like, the most important thing is to just try not to force it. Try not to say, and I'm not assuming that you're going to do this, but something that I would do is, like, look at a famous artist who's really important and then say, oh, of course I'm inspired by this guy. So even if I'm not.
Oh, don't try and reverse engineer it, you're saying.
Yeah, because there's some people like Picasso I am genuinely inspired by, and it's not just because he's like the most famous artist ever. It's like he really hits something in my heart.
Oh, you know who I absolutely do know that I'm influenced by? Bill Watterson.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Yeah.
I think I was influenced by him too a little bit, but it's definitely more apparent in your work.
It's just how I learned to draw.
Yeah,
I
really
wrote in
like
a
Bill
sketchbook
Watterson.
somewhere that Calvin and Hobbes taught me everything I know about drawing.
Oh, that's incredible.
And it's an exaggeration, but it only a little.
It's better than my childhood inspiration was Matt Groening, which I still am really inspired by him, but
I don't think that's better or worse. I think that's awesome.
yeah, it's just
Undoubtedly influential.
undoubtedly influential. I've begun to realize that the Simpsons style is a lot uglier than I used to think of it as, because I think when I was little and I drew everything like the Simpsons, it wasn't because I thought it was beautiful. Like I thought it was appealing, but my MO was like, I like this style because it's funny and it makes me laugh. You know.
Have I roasted you on this
Yes.
podcast about?
I don't know about on the podcast.
May I?
Yes, go ahead, roast.
Mike has this. Whenever I ask him for advice about a piece of art, because I respect his opinion as an artist, but
For some reason.
he does this every time. I should learn. I'll be like, Mike, I don't know what I should do for this, and he'll hit me with something like, you should have like a clown, and he's trying to eat a balloon, and then the balloon pops, and I'm like, why? And he's like, because it would be funny, and it's infallible. It's every time. Invariable.
In my defense, usually after I do that, I realize that that's not what you're trying to go for, and then I try to think of something genuinely insightful.
Yes, but it's funny that your first
That
response.
is my MO.
Yeah.
That's how I usually approach most of my art. Is that like, I'm gonna do this. This would be really funny, or this would be like clever or something.
Can we talk about the bathroom stall incident from last week?
Go ahead.
Because it got one of your best lines ever.
The one where I technically sexually harassed you.
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm not pressing charges.
Thank God.
Your Honor. We were both in illustration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we both got up and left, and it became clear very quickly that we were both going to the bathroom because we both had to pee.
And Brady doesn't want to pee with me.
If you can believe it. And so
See, now it is gonna be awkward. Now that it's become canon that you don't want to pee with me if it ever happens.
Yeah,
It
I'm
wouldn't
stuck.
have been before.
It would have.
Only to you, though. Now it's going to be to me, too. Now I'm going to have that in my awareness.
Good, then you'll leave me alone. Anyway.
You underestimate me.
Going for distance, I see. So I was like, all right, no, I'm not peeing next to you, Mike. Because, well, the thing is, you're always, like, so enthused. You're like, oh, let's pee together. And that doesn't sit right with me.
I see.
And it's not a you thing.
Yeah.
Anybody who's like, please pee next to me is not, it's not an ace in my book.
I see.
But I was like, okay, you take the second floor. We were on the second floor. I'll go up to the third.
You take the high notes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the high road. So I took the high road up, but I knew, I was like, there's no way this man's going to let me pee in
well,
peace.
You took forever.
I was returning a text also. So that relates to what I was saying. I was like, he's not going to let me do this. So I don't want to be out here with my dick hanging out at a stall, because the third floor does not have dividers by the urinals. And that wouldn't even matter to me if you saw my dick, but mostly like if you were there watching me pee, I'd feel very weird.
I see.
So I was like, well, this is a stall situation. Oh, and I have to return this text. It's like an ongoing, very long conversation. It'll be perfect. So I got into a stall and just sort of sat down and started texting and peeing. And I was texting and I heard footfall on the stairs outside, right next to the bathroom, is the stairwell. And I was like, oh no. And then I heard, you know how, not even heard, you know how when like you're in a room with lots of light and somebody walks into it, just the ambiance changes?
It's like your sixth sense.
Yes. I got, my spider sense started tingling. And I looked up, and through the crack in the stall, I could see Mike peeking around the corner, looking at my feet under the stall door. And then I heard much what you're hearing now, which is just sort of like bouncing off the tiles of the bathroom. It was really ominous.
It wasn't from my perspective.
And I went, Michael. And he went,
okay.
And then I got really mad and was like, you better fucking leave. I'm not coming out of here until you go away. And it took like a good 30 seconds of talking before he would go away. Okay. And then I ran downstairs. Not ran. I washed my hands because I'm a respectable human being. Mm-hmm. And I walked back to class. And I was actually pretty pissed. No pun intended. Shit. And I was like, Mike, what the hell, dude? Why did you just follow me up and like stand outside the stall while I peed? And your response was, but Your Honor, it was funny. And I wrote that on my coffee cup sleeve and pinned it up on the wall in the studio, and it's still there. So that's, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Those were the
sorry,
days.
Buddy.
It's okay, man.
I had my brain was in the sensation of like when you're playing hide and seek and someone's about to find you. It's like that kind of giggles.
I was peeing.
No, but I had the sensation of I was the one who was hiding.
You were standing in front of my stall.
Yeah, I know, but like I couldn't tell if you knew I was there. And so I was like,
you were giggling nervously.
Yeah, because I was like, what if he's gonna notice? And lo and behold,
I have situational awareness on my side.
I don't even have that.
Well, that was it. What were we gonna talk about before I said that?
Before we digressed.
Yeah, I needed to tell people that it was funny, Your Honor. But that was his defense. Won't hold up in court.
Won't hold up in court.
You were like, let's make this an hour and a half, and here we are at 58 minutes.
Oh shit! Okay, cool. We can still talk for more. I just feel like my
make
brain.
this as long as possible.
My brain wants to talk.
We could even split this into two.
Yeah,
and
we
go
could.
For 2
we
hours.
could make this a two-parter.
Why don't you just keep going and like?
Let's just see what the night takes us.
It's not even 6. I'm getting hungry.
Really?
I got pasta. Yeah.
Cool. I've got food and I've got sandwiches in my car.
Whoa. Wow. Anyway, you're up.